Hello, welcome back to another game on Arena 1v1 between Villese, playing in red as the Khmer. His opponent is unknown really. For me it says question mark because the character he was using in his name cannot be recognized by the game apparently. He's going by a nickname of Karma33. On his profile was one of his older nicknames, and according to Neman, I guess it's a Russian player because I asked Neman, he was in Vilese's stream watching this game, and apparently it's a Woobly player, old school Woobly player even, who just switched from Woobly to DE, like I guess 2 weeks ago, because in the past 2 weeks there are 220 games from this player, and that's quite a lot on a high 1700 level. But for now we're going to focus on Villese, of course, as this is a build order analysis for the Khmer boom, and the Khmer, as we remember, don't need buildings to unlock other buildings, don't need buildings to go to the next stage, and their farmers are just so good, as they don't need a mill or TC to drop off the food. They're dropping it whenever they got it, and therefore we're going to see a pretty nice boom, and I want to show you this boom up until, let's say, minute 25 maybe. Really curious to see how Villese is doing this. Now he's got one more villager on food here, had it, now he's sending a villager to go to wood. And he's going to the left hand side wood line where he's got a second gold and the main stone close to the wood line, which means he can put TCs between those and has a good wood income then. The farmers don't really matter because you can put them wherever you want. Villese is also starting to lure the deer in really early on. That's his second goat and the first deer on the way. 3 villagers on wood for now, and the deer going directly underneath the TC. No, not ideal, but not bad either. It's alright. 3 villagers on wood. Next villager already going to the boar, so he's going with only 3 villagers on wood. Standard FC says 4 villagers, but of course you want to go up really fast here. You want to go 4 TCs, and Villese knows what he's doing here. Second deer also coming in. That's now 7 villagers on food underneath the TC, and Villese also using 4 villagers to shoot the boar 3 times with the TC, and only then using the last arrows to kill the boar with the villagers. Now that's 1 more villager, 8 on food as the boar came in, and the next villager, number 12 on trading population, is building a house. And next up probably the mill, still 3 villagers on wood, and also next deer coming in. That's 2 and 2. Here's 4 villagers on the boar, and actually next villager going to the mill. Interesting. So we have only 2 villagers on boar now, and 2 plus 2 plus 2 on 3 deer. The villager, the house building villager, is going for another house even. He's just got enough wood for that, and the last deer will come in very soon as well. So we have 8 villagers underneath the TC on 4 different animals, and the next villagers all going to berries. Let's see when he's going for that last boar. Ooh, deer running back. Not ideal, not a big problem though. And that's now 4 villagers on the berries. Nothing special here other than the 3 villagers on wood, which is a little bit uncommon for a fast castle build on Arena. But of course, as we said, Villese knows what he's doing, and he also doesn't need farmers early on. He's getting a lot of free food here. Again, using the 8 villagers divided on now 3 animals, and the villager going to take the last boar, second boar here. So we're going to see most likely more villagers underneath the TC, and then sometime in this game Villese will put villagers on wood. Nothing special so far, but it's going to be interesting to see when Villese is clicking up. Now again, 4 villagers to hit the boar 3 times, and then they are doing the rest by hand, using their bows and arrows or whatever that is. Villese, of course, starting to scout here. I'm not really interested in that. The last deer is on 70 food, and the 2 villagers going to take a goat here. We have 11 villagers underneath the TC, and now it's 12. 4 villagers on berries, and still only 3 villagers on wood. And to be honest, you don't need more at this point in the game. You need maybe a little bit more wood to build a house, but that's pretty much it. You don't need buildings to advance to the next stage, so you don't need a market and a blacksmith. And therefore it just makes sense to go with a few villagers on the wood line. And of course you need some gold, therefore we're going to see 2 villagers on gold, maybe 3 even, I don't know. Mining camp coming up. The other villagers still happily taking food underneath the TC. And also on the berries. And now we are at 22, soon to be 23 population. Villese still scouting, of course. Main goal for him is forward, a second stone outside. 2 villagers now moving to the wood line. 3 villagers actually going to gold, and the first farm coming up. We're going up at 23 population. 2 farms coming up at this point. A few sheep. The boar not even finished yet, but soon to be. And I guess these villagers will go to take the goat, the sheep, and Villese command command queued those and said, yeah, 4 plus 4 should be fine here. So that's 8 villagers underneath the TC now, plus 2 farmers, 4 villagers on berries, and we have 5 on wood at this point. Just click before clicking to Feudal Age, those 2 villagers moved to the wood line. And 3 villagers on gold is usually uncommon if you just want to go for a pure FC, but remember, Villese doesn't need the buildings, so he will go maybe 1 villager, maybe none. It could be a 23 plus nothing build, or maybe 24 plus nothing, and you need gold to have, you need 200 gold in the bank when you reach Feudal Age. We have, that's a total of 8 villagers still, yeah, that's 8 villagers underneath the TC, and there is 1 villager, she's going to wood now. Villese has enough gold, so he's saying, yeah, what do I need gold for at this point in the game? I'm sending her to take more wood, and that's 1 lumber camp with 6 villagers now, 4 villagers on the berries. Again, the 2 farmers. And Villese going up to Feudal Age, 23 population, and he has the resources and is going up to Castle Age immediately. That's a 23 plus none. And this is quite big here. He's sending 2 more villagers to wood. Has now 5 villagers underneath the TC, taking the last goat, soon to be finished, and that's a total of 9 villagers on 1 wood line, another farm coming up, another 2 actually. Oracle on the way, double bit X, not yet. He has enough villagers on on wood, so he's saying, yeah, double bit X can wait a little bit longer, but it's important to have more food on those newly built farms, and that's now 2, 3, 5, 6 farms in total. 1 villager, only 1. She's chopping the tree next to the TC. 4 villagers on the berries, 2 on gold still, and that's a total of 9 villagers on the wood line. And we are going to see 2 TCs immediately, double bit X now on the way. But again, horse color more important here. I think I can go a little bit faster. I don't think we're going to see too much transitioning from one resource to another, other than the fact that 1 villager, she needs to build a house, because you don't want to get housed early on in Castle Age. That would be really bad. And now we're going to see the TTC placement very soon. The opponent, let's call him Karma, is up to Feudal Age, but not Castle Age yet. And at 12:49, we reach Castle Age. Really early on. TC coming up immediately on the gold with 3 villagers. That's she just chopped the tree. Now she's going to build a TC on the main gold. And other than that, nothing big happening. Woodline upgrade needs to wait probably. I think Villese wants to go TC number 3 first before he's going to go for the Bosa upgrade. And only 1 TC for now coming up, but he's got enough wood now to build another TC. He's going for the TC on the wood line and the main stone. It's a beautiful TC spot. Villese has a lot of food in the bank already, and 140 gold are staying in the bank as long as you don't build a market. That gold maybe going to be used for a monk later on to grab some relics, but other than that, we're going to see that gold stay in the bank. Of course, there's 1 forage push left on full food at 14 minutes, because we're so early on. And now there's 1 more villager going to the wood line, so for a total of 10 here. 3 villagers on gold, they just finished the TC, and 2 villagers grabbing another tree here. The next villagers going to wood probably whenever they can. They're going to build farms. And TC number 3 is going to come up really soon now. Bosa on the way and finished before 15 minutes even. Really nice to see. And the villagers are going to gold, so I imagine the market later on might be fine. Of course, those villagers can also go and build farms, and this is what's happening. So the villagers on the left hand side, they're going to wood. The villagers on the main gold TC probably going to become farmers early on. And then we might see, Villese is taking stone now to get TC number 4 in. Really important to see that he's actually using 2 villagers on stone right now. And of course he doesn't have the wood for another TC yet. He also doesn't have the farms to produce from 3 TCs. You will be fine. A villager on the side is going to build more houses. You don't want to get housed in this boom. And there's always more farms coming up whenever Villese can afford it. And mostly between those 2 TCs on the main TC and the one on the main gold. The villagers from the berries and 1 more from TC are now going to build another lumber camp. Second one here actually. And there's still a lot of villagers in wood here. It's 10 plus 4, 2 villagers on stone. And Villese has a few farms running out, so it needs to wait for a little bit more wood to come in. But as you can see, that's not a lot of idle time, and Villese can afford it. We are at 17 minutes soon with 40 villagers, and the next villagers, as you can see, are going to the wood line, and also 1 villager building houses here. A little bit of idle time. Villese needs to wait for more food to come in. Now the villagers queue is activated again, and you want to minimize your idle time as good as possible. A little bit idle time here. Villese will have enough stone for a fourth TC very soon, and he's also close to getting the wood for 4th TC. I don't know what happened with the scout of his opponent of Karma here. No scout fight apparently. I saw the scout before, but maybe they didn't fight. 300 and 400 wood in the bank, and Villese not going for farms here. Instead, he's going now for the TC, for villagers building another TC. He's sending villagers to gold, but whenever he has the wood, he is sending them to to build a farm and go for the food. Now that's 8 villagers on that other lumber camp, and there is the scout again. So we have a little bit of fight. Villese is still on back. But this boom is looking really, really good. 18 minute 30, we have 51 villagers, TC number 4 coming up, a little bit of gold in the bank obviously. And the food is coming in. Little idle time as far as I can see. More houses coming up. Villager has one job only, and has to build houses to make sure that you can produce more and more villagers. And I don't think we've seen wheelbarrow, but we had the second wood upgrade. We had the first farm upgrade, as you remember. And there is more farms coming up. 23 farmers now. That's enough, definitely enough to support 4 TCs. And 327 gold in the bank. No monastery yet. We might see a monastery coming up very soon. That's a total of 10 villagers on that wood line. The other villagers on the left hand side, rest 12 wood lumberjacks, and of course a lot of farmers. 29. You can see the food count rising very fast, and I don't see a lot of idle time any longer. So maybe we're going to see wheelbarrow really soon now. I'm not quite sure how good it is for Khmer farmers. I guess you don't really need it. Heavy plow instead coming in. This is interesting, but it makes sense. And more houses, obviously. That's 10 villagers now on that one lumber camp. And Villese also destroyed the old one, build a new lumber camp. He's going with 4 villagers on stone. Are we going to see TC number 5? I don't think so, but it's possible in theory. And at 20 minutes, when do we reach 70 villagers? Like before 21 minutes. At 69 villagers and 70 villagers at 2047. Beautiful boom. Gold mining coming in. There's the monastery. More houses on the way, and Villese is trying to grab 1 or 2 of those relics, which makes sense, and is also with 4 or 5 villagers now in stone. So castle coming up potentially. It's a pure boom, so you are vulnerable to attacks from your opponent. And Karma actually is not attacking yet. Villese is moving out with the monk now. Is trying to grab a relic. Is going for another monk here as well. 33 farmers, 34. We are at 77 villagers total, and a lot of farmers. That's almost farm simulator. More houses coming up? No, there's going to be a little bit of idle time on that villager probably, but the other one is building more houses. Wheelbarrow finally coming up in the main gold TC, which is nice. The other villagers on the left hand side, gold TC are of course moving to wood, and as you can see, Villese is banking some gold, but that's it. A little bit of stone obviously for a castle later on, but food and wood, he's using it really fast. Mining camp on the main stone makes sense, and now the big question is what is going to happen, and there it is. Imperial Age. Fast imp for his opponent, for Karma, for the question mark player. The Siege Workshop coming up forward. We do see crossbowmen. And Villese, is he going for the market yet? I remember that the market is coming up somewhere in the back here. But at 23 minutes we are on 88 villagers. And this is big. This is a really, really strong boom. He almost has enough resources to click up to Imperial Age himself. Gotta build a castle somewhere either in front of his main TC, and no, well, actually it's possible, not in front of the main gold TC probably, because we could see Malians. Do they get bombard cannons? I don't know, or trebuchets from his opponent. A little bit of walling coming up, 1 relic inside. The monk is not daring to go out, and I don't know why these crossbowmen are attacking the wall. Maybe before they're idle. Let's do this. Villese is on the way up to Imperial Age. Clicked before 24 minutes, 94 villagers, and at 24 minutes we're at, yeah, still 94, maybe 95 almost. Enough stone for a castle now, and a lot of wood now in the bank. Obviously, you want to go for either military buildings or something else. There's a stable coming up. There is a castle on the way. Villese probably doesn't have blacksmith yet. You may never forget to build these. Because usually when you're going for fast castle boom, you have your market, your blacksmith, and you need to go for barracks to get the stable up or something. But the blacksmith is something you need when transitioning to Imperial Age, and that might be a little bit late. Then again, Villese is in a defensive position, and the bombard cannons for Malians are coming. I wasn't quite sure, but I expected the bombard cannons to come in. We also have we have husbandry on the way, so we're going to see cavalry units. And as far as I remember, Villese is going for the ballista elephants. Is that possible? I think so. Villager going down. Those crossbowmen are on 5+2. Chemistry done here, but no bracer yet. Not quite sure whether Malians get bracer or not. And the TC is getting repaired by a lot of villagers here. So one bombard cannon and keeping a few villagers busy, and the wood count is really low now. 48 farmers, but no wood left. And ballista elephants, they also cost wood as far as I remember. The TC might eventually go down. The ballista elephant choice, I'm not quite sure about it. It's going to be good against the arbalest, I imagine. I'm not quite sure how much damage they're doing against bombard cannons. And of course, Villese is ahead in the score, is ahead in villagers by triple, pretty much. 38 times 3, 114, almost triple the villagers. But military numbers looking good for his opponent. And of course, those arbalists are right now controlling the right-hand side of the space. They can't really move forward. There's a big house wall and the castle behind the main TC, actually, making sure that the back part of his economy, which is not really too big. A big part is actually on the left-hand side, but it's protected. Another castle coming up in the back here. You don't want to see those bombard cannons hitting your castles. Therefore, you're putting them in the back. You make sure that your production of ballista elephants is happening. And there's the +2 defense already. 270 HP is a lot. And at this point in the game, Villese is giving up his main goal TC, but is moving the ballista elephants forward. And now we're going to see a few of those arbalists dying really fast. Those ballista elephants 8 attack, but it's the siege unit, the elephant siege, and they're doing like area damage, is that called that? The bombard cannons on the other end, they're not going down fast, I think. That's some sort of armor maybe against other siege units, and bombard cannons of course are doing some damage, not too much either, but you can see it here, bombard cannon, that's like 3 damage per arrow, and that's not a lot. So the bombard cannons are actually quite good against those ballista elephants. At least they're not dying too fast. Villese producing more ballista elephants now from 2 castles. Has a ton of food in the bank. Maybe you should add in some light cav hussars, something like that, because there's no counter to this yet. Arbalest, okay, it's a good unit, but it doesn't really counter hussars. And of course the bombard cannons can get sniped by that. But Villese is trying to win this using the ballista elephants. He's going for the elite upgrade, which probably costs a ton of food. Gold income from Villese on the left hand side, that's the second gold. Third gold is outside, that's a problem for him, so if his opponent is able to control this area, he might be struggling for gold. The middle gold, neutral zone more or less, but could be controlled as well. At this point in the game though, the attack from his opponent is, getting slowed down a little bit. Monk to get 1 ballista elephant converted, nice effort, and those ballista elephants are caught between arbalest and bombard cannons. They should go down. Is there another monk? I don't see one, but Villese at this point in the game is fine. He's not getting attacked in his base, other than there's 1 arbalest, but okay, not a big problem. And that elite ballista elephant now with 9 attack, 5 range. Yeah, Villese just needs to tell him to attack. There it is. And Villese is also moving on to take his second stone. Score-wise, he's far ahead, obviously. I think I can go a little bit faster to see how the attack from Blue from Karma is progressing and how Villese is trying to defend using the elite ballista elephants. Nice conversion once again. These monks probably, I don't know, do they get 12 range? They have 9 range for now. Villese doing the last farm upgrades at crop rotation. I think it's crop rotation. There is 4 ballista elephants against Villese, so that's quite a good amount of conversions. And there is more conversions happening. But Villese is saying, no more conversions for you, I'm going back just in case you don't have that attack. And we have 130 villagers now for Villese, so it's fully boomed. And that's 53 farmers, 41 damage checks. Few villagers on gold, actually is taking the main gold again. The arbalest trying to stop this, but now there's a good amount of ballista defense at home to defend. And there is the hussars in the mix, so that's what I was expecting. Too many letters. And yeah, seeing the hussars coming in with, oh my god, this is so much food income, this is so much wood income, this is such a good boom, and now you don't stand a chance because your monks didn't convert enough, and Villese has the 2 castles in the back, making sure that he always has the production of elite ballista elephants. 34-minute game, and a beautiful boom in my opinion. Something like that, if you can boom like that, you're gonna have a good time on the arena. Of course, if you're getting rushed, you might be in trouble. You need to stop military production, go for military buildings. But like this, with a fast imperial age, Villese had enough time to prepare the elite ballista elephant, and now the hussars. Hope you enjoyed this game. Very entertaining for me, very educating for me actually. And see you in the next games. GG.